Alright. Hey guys, it's me, Jack24 here. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Muldoon Logs, Episode 6, The Novel Dilophosaurus. For those that don't know, this is an analog horror series done by the YouTube creator Aliota, who's been making, honestly, these amazing videos and stuff, and this has been interesting, and plus I like watching these with my dad, so this is quite fun. Also, I tend to, use some of my paleontological knowledge, since I will admit I have a lot of paleontological knowledge due to the fact that I was originally going to go into college for paleontology, as paleontology is a lifelong hobby of mine, still is, but unfortunately for me, I learned a few years before my college days that that paleontology was just more of a hobby rather than a career passion. So for a career, I decided to go into film instead for college, but I keep up with all of the paleontological news to the best of my abilities. So yeah, so I'm going to be giving all of my information there, but I'll stress this enough. I can't stress this enough. Guys, please go check out Aliotta's channel. Link to his channel and to the original video will be in the description. Please go, drop a like, sub to him, and help him out, because recently he just hit over 2,000 subscribers. No, not 2,000. I'm a dummy. It says 200,000 subscribers. So let's help him out. Let's bring him even higher, because the more support we give him, the more awesome stuff we have today. Also, the only reason why I have this is out is just to do this copyright thing. Actually, you know what? I might have to watch this video later. For those that know about Darth Malgus, this would be an interesting thing. Anyways, Jurassic Park's copyright belongs to Universal Studios. Universal City Studios LLC and to Emblem Entertainment Inc. And the rest of the copyright belongs to Aliota. And now, let's begin this reaction. Seems like almost every video that I do for this, I'm going to keep bringing this up, because Jurassic franchise is the one that kind of actually messed this up. This was due to kind of Michael Crichton liking the name of Velociraptor anterophus better for Deinonychus anterophus due to a paleo artist that mixed up the name. And also Michael Crichton thought that Velociraptor sounded more intimidating when Deinonychus, which means, terrible claw, is actually pretty terrifying. For those wondering, no, Velociraptor is not Deinonychus, because Deinonychus is like 4 feet tall, about I forget how long it is off the top of my head, but it is significantly bigger and a bit more, I would say it's a bit more stockier than a Velociraptor. Yeah, it would be definitely stockier than a Velociraptor. And not to mention, Velociraptor does have 2 valid species. First one is Mongoliensis, which is the type species, and then I forget the secondary species, but the second species is not Velociraptor anterophus. Just wanted to clear that out of the way, as Velociraptor anterophus is Deinonychus. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that up. Also, today is going to also be a bigger one, because we have not one, not two, actually, we got 2 species today to to, well, double check. So I have to just have to prepare that up for later because, oh boy. Anyways, let's begin this beautiful animation.
Have you had a chance to watch the footage, Jerry?
Yeah, I did, Muldoon.
What do you think? Have you seen anything like this before?
Let me see. Paying attention to up here.
The Dilos, no. What exactly?
Alright. I can't have been the only one to notice something. Before he reels in pain, let me go back. Because this will be an important thing for the next video as well. So,
Have you had a chance to watch the footage, Jerry?
pay attention.
Yeah, I
up
did,
here.
Muldoon.
What do you think? Have you seen anything like this before?
Not with the Dilos, no. What exactly
There.
did the foreman say to you he saw?
So that means, since that was straight across and not coming from down there, that means one of the Dilos is in the trees. I'm not sure how, but they are in the trees, which isn't good at all. At all. Also, for those wondering about the novel Dilophosaurus, well, just look up Jurassic Park novel Dilophosaurus, and then, well, just go read a bit and listen, or read/listen to what happens to Nedry, because he got what he deserved. I mean, he didn't really deserve it, but, I mean, granted, all of the blood that was about to be on his hands, yeah.
Said it spat at Manuel.
And Manuel was on the retaining wall?
Yes, we're talking some 50 feet up, Jerry.
Wow.
He said it spat something, hitting Manuel in the face. The man begins screaming, complaining he can't see. He said he stumbled blindly towards the barrier and fell over the wall into the enclosure.
Yikes.
Ooh. There's a Dilo right there, which means it is going to be, well, Manuel is not going to be, well.
It's crazy.
He survives the fall, tries to stand, starts shaking,
Wait,
and then the
hold on.
foreman...
They don't have the frills. Hooray! Yeah! Finally. The movie Dilos don't have the frills.
described him as not moving. I sounded the horns. You know more than anyone how the Dilos are pretty responsive to the horns. And Arnold told me all of them are in the holding pen now.
Where are they taking Manuel?
Probably Bahia and Nasco.
Okay. Where are you now?
I'm heading to the holding pen to see what I can find out, Jerry.
There is a lot of...
No. Sorry, Allie. I know you need the ads and stuff, but I'm doing a reaction. I'm sorry. If I wasn't doing a reaction, I would watch through the entire ad because A, it helps you out. Hopefully, if you're sponsored, or get some commission with ads, but it's not good business for reacting.
The rear of the river cruise is the Dilophosaurus holding pen. This pen is used to round the animals. Jerry Harding accidentally discovered that the Dilos are particularly responsive to the sound of horns. So horn recordings are blasted from speakers around the Dilo paddock that help herd the animals into this holding pen. The pen is deliberately maintained several degrees cooler and at a lower light level than the surrounding paddocks because the Dilophosaurs carry a known genetic skin disorder, which leaves their skin unusually susceptible to ultraviolet exposure. Prolonged sunlight results in rapid sunburn, blistering, and possible secondary infection. For that reason, shade is paramount in their enclosure. You'll notice that within their enclosure is dense canopy cover. Artificial and controlled lighting cycles limiting UV exposure The cooler, darker environment keeps the animals calmer, reduces.
I mean, honestly, that is true for most animals. As darker environments and cooler temperatures, well, keeps people, animals more tame, calm, because it's just something that kind of places them at ease. You know?
And prevents visible skin damage. It's quite a small area, and there are 7 animals in here. The Dilophosaurs are painfully shy dinosaurs. InGen made 2 batches of them, and Henry Wu was quick to jump on the idea of having the most up-to-date recreation, and began work on sequencing the genome of Dilophosaurus sinensis.
Alright, here's where I'm about to go into some paleontological nerd stuff. For those that don't know, the species of Dilophosaurus is Dilophosaurus weatherillae. However, at the time of when Jurassic Park / this log is taking place, Dilophosaurus Dilophosaurus. Give me a sec.
And began work on sequencing the genome of Dilophosaurus sinensis.
As Dilophosaurus sinensis was indeed considered a valid creature. However, the name, in modern day terms, meaning after some studying and stuff in the 90s, it was eventually kind of figured out that Dilophosaurus sinensis is not the correct name for it, because it's not really that related, despite looking like it. And before anyone says, oh, what's the actual name of it, found it. Whoops, excuse me, sorry about that, that was rude. Is Sinosaurus is the name of it, and it was pretty much similar to Dilophosaurus, just lived in kind of a different area. It had 2 crests on its head, granted, not as nearly as pronounced as Dilophosaurus. I mean, out of the 2, I would say Dilophosaurus was definitely the bigger out of the two, but, I'm just gonna say that, yeah, Sinosaurus is, still pretty big. It's not going to be, big as Dilophosaurus. If I can find a pretty good, give me a sec. Pretty much, Dilophosaurus would be, and Sinosaurus would be definitely looking above you, to say the least. Give me a sec, actually. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I gotta zoom in. Yeah, out of Dilophosaurus and Sinosaurus, both are practically nearly same size, just the crests are less pronounced. And oh boy.
Newer of the Dilo species, fossils of which having been excavated as recently as the 80s. This species is smaller, and there's 4 of them in here. Hammond saw the 4 adults Henry had recreated and wasn't too impressed. He insisted Henry genetically engineer the Dilophosaurus weatherillae, the larger of the 2. 3 of them were cloned.
I mean, you know what? I'll actually do this. Alright. Which was heavier? Sinosaurus versus Dilophosaurus. Which one was heavier? Let me see. Let me see, because I honestly want to double check. Dismount. Alright. You know what? I'm about to do something that you guys might not like. I'm going to be using the Wikipedia weights. Because... Give me a sec. Where is it? I know it has the weights around here somewhere. Out of... Alright, so now... Let me take a... Actually, let me take a look. Sorry, I'm just double checking this. Alright, so seems like current estimates have Sinusaurus slash, this version of Dilophosaurus sinensis is actually heavier, being about, oh boy, that's a big number, 1,973 pounds, while Dilophosaurus, this one being Letterili, is estimated to be about 880 pounds. Granted, I will say for both, they can definitely get a bit bigger. With that, because I'm not gonna lie. Fossils from those time eras, isn't exactly, the most well concrete in preserving, like good specimens. So it's possible it's a bit Dilophosaurus could be a bit smaller in that regard, but yeah.
And both.
But if you do mean height wise, then they're both pretty much the same height. Like, yeah. Unless if, hold on, Dilophosaurus. Alright, so... yeah, so about over 800 pounds. No, it's like... yeah, alright, it's about roughly, give or take, like 880 pounds for like 1,000 pounds being kind of the age range. No, not age range. Weight range for them, for Dilophosaurus. So, Alright, you know what? I'm just going to say this. From what I've currently searched up, Dilophosaurus weight, the AI response thing that, Google gives out, says Dilophosaurus weighed approximately 400 to 700 kilograms, which pretty much is 880 pounds to about 1,500 plus pounds. It is a large theropod from the early Jurassic period. This dinosaur measured about 6 to 7 meters, about 20 to 23 feet in length, and its height was roughly 6 to 7 feet tall. Which, yeah, I'm saying, like, Sinensis is definitely going to be heavier. Because just gotta double check. Sinusaurus. Wait. Yeah, Sinusaurus was heavier because on recent studies Alright, because... Alright, so earlier studies have estimated that Sinosaurus would be about 600 pounds, like 660 pounds being the lower estimate, when apparently a new study came out where it thinks it's about 1,973 pounds. However, I should mention this is definitely going to be still up for debate. However, I'm not going to argue with it since it does seem more plausible, actually. So, knowing that this isn't going to be 100% accurate to the real animal, I expect this is going to be the Jurassic Park movie Dilo, judging by the color scheme.
Species live in this same enclosure here at Jurassic Park without issue. I want to show both species if possible. Both are nocturnal, so it's very likely that they are sleeping at the moment. Here we go. This is Dilophosaurus, the smaller species. These guys are less prone to the sunburn skin issue, yet I have witnessed peeling between the crests if they're out of the shade for prolonged periods of time. These guys grow to about 4 foot tall and are mostly timid, yet they start to become curious about you pretty quickly if you hang about them for a bit. However, they tend to be pretty quiet most of the time. Sorry, girl. Back to sleep.
Aww. But, yeah, so sinensis is Sinosaurus sinensis, and oh boy, it is a big, big carnivore. Also, it should be mentioned that a lot of Sinosaurus's material just like is more fragmentary because oh boy, is it hard to grab any, and I do mean this. Like, where is? Sorry, just biological. No, where is description? No, wait, hold on. Did Sinosaurus? Oh, hold on. Oh, I know. Alright. So, hold on. I think I might have been looking at the wrong one. Because... Give me a sec. Because currently, the Sinosaurus species I was looking at is Sinosaurus triassicus. Give me a sec to look at the second species, because that is Sinosaurus sinensis. So, sorry about that. I was looking at the wrong species. That's my mistake. Alright, so now Saurus sinensis. Alright. Then let me see. Alright. Let me try this. Sorry, I was just looking for this. Alright, I'm looking at iNaturalist, which, give me a sec. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure out the sinensis weight, because I was looking at Triassicus. Second species. Yeah, alright. The second species is... So give me a sec. Then originally dialed then. Alright, so then. So named earlier. Oh, alright. Alright, so it's pretty much debated between if Sinosaurus sinensis is a separate species from Triassicus. So for now, Sinosaurus is Triassicus, the stats that I have been reading you guys earlier, for now, because it's, a bit of a debate about some stuff, whether or not if that is exactly, the correct, validation of the species, and whether or not if the species, is just, Triassicus, or, indeed a second species being that. So for now, just be aware. For now, I've just been using the type species of Sinosaurus because, more research has to be done into that. But yeah, keep in mind, in real life, this one probably would be a lot bigger than the Wetterili in terms of weight.
Hear that?
Why did I just pause it straight into an ad? Sorry, guys. Didn't mean that. Also, I didn't mean to spend so much time looking up this stuff. Sorry, St. Jude, as much as I like helping you guys out, I have a reaction to do. Yeah, sorry for that long time just trying to look at stuff for Sinosaurus, because I'm just trying to figure that one out.
If you didn't know there were Dilophosaurs here, you'd be forgiven in thinking that what you're hearing is the hooting of an owl. But it's no owl. That's the call of Dilophosaurus weatherili. They actually creep me out. Like I said, they're the larger of the two species, but they're actually quite attentive to people. I would say the closest thing to them would probably be Australia's cassowary.
Ooh. For anyone that doesn't know about cassowaries, they are scary and also very, very weird looking. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to judge the bird for being a bird, but, I mean, they are a weird looking bird. Then again, most birds think we are weird looking, so I think the feeling's mutual.
But they are quite remarkable animals. They tend to deeply focus on their handlers and study them closely. And they have what I believe to be a very haunting characteristic. And I want to document such. She's right there. If I can just get her to step out.
I think I can see it right here. I believe that's where the body is. Yeah, body, so then head should be about... Yeah, that seems about right. Well, there we go. Oh no.
Shit! This is why they creep me out. See this behavioral display? They seem to size up their opponent in an attempt to intimidate equally sized threats. As you can see, this girl is quite a bit larger than the sinensis species, the green ones. She stands at about 8 foot tall, which already gives a cassowary a run for its money. This display would make anyone fear for their lives. The first...
Agreed. Also, notice how much bigger the crests are with Letteroi compared to Sinosaurus. That, for now, seems to be pretty accurate, because Dilophosaurus is known for having bigger crests than Sinosaurus at the current moment, despite it being the lighter of the two species, because once again I'm using Triassicus for my reference, because stuff on Sinosaurus sinensis itself is still being ongoing paleontological work. So,
I encountered this animal was on orientation to the park, and it was nighttime. This thing nearly made me fire an entire round into my pants with that.
Damn. Does he mean that he was about to poop himself, or shoot his gun into his pants? Because, to be honest, I see him going around at night with his gun and, well, just doing a patrol. Not like a security patrol, but, just like tour around. He's got his gun, because you never know what you're going to find on that island. And, oh boy, I don't blame him.
Be sway and hooting it does, but it's absolutely a beautiful animal with that jaguar-like hide and those red crests atop its head. That's a chopper coming to collect Manuel from the Dilo enclosure. I'm waiting for them to airlift him out, and then I want to enter while these girls are still in here. But by the looks of it, it'll be evening before Regis makes the call to allow any of us to re-enter the enclosure. He's the park's PR person, and what that means here is he needs to make sure any accident is promptly contained and no one asks questions.
Did I get all checked out later, but I'm pretty sure I just secured myself, the thumbnail for this video, because, I really wanted to get a picture of both the novel Dilophosaurus and, of course, the movie Dilo. Although, don't get me wrong, out of the two variants, I would prefer the movie Dilo to kill me. For those that know why, know why. For those that wanna, gamble fate some more, don't with this guy. I'm telling you, you're not gonna like it. Nedry didn't like it, and, at least the movie Dilo will kill you quicker.
I'm now in the Dilophosaur enclosure proper. This habitat is currently part of two major rides at the park: the electric vehicle tour and the Jungle River cruise. The back end of this paddock leads up to the retaining wall that poor Manuel fell off. I've become so curious to see something that I thought I saw when I first peered down off the wall, and then later thought I spotted in the footage. Here's the retaining wall, and here's where Manuel landed. The poor soul's helmet is still in the water, and this is the interesting part that I wanted to take note of.
Alright, before he continues, the mention of Regis, of Ed Regis, for those that have only seen the movie, they wouldn't really know why he's important, but Aliwada's universe is kind of a mixture between the novels and the films, and also Aliwada's own kind of storytelling, since his other series, Sorna. You know what? I should actually react to that, since that was actually pretty well done on his part. Because, oh boy, that was a beautiful series. But yeah. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. But But yeah. They are not, it's not exactly one-to-one to either movie or novel, but it's like a mixture of both, kind of. And Allie's own twists with it, which make it very fun, but at the same time, like, very unpredictable. It's like, you don't know what you're going to be expecting, you know?
This black substance pooling around the helmet. Let me take a closer look.
Well, judging by this and the entire thing, I can safely say it's safe that they don't really know that the Dilos are venomous. Because in both the novel and in the film, it was only like around the time of the tour, like I would say give or take like maybe a few months prior to the tour, was when that they discovered, oh boy, the Dilos are indeed venomous and really are not shy at, spitting.
On the water here, I don't like thick, black, almost tar-like. Not natural runoff, not oil. It's viscous. It doesn't smell like anything I recognize.
Don't place that anywhere near your face further than what you've already done, Robert. Just don't. Because, oh boy. You don't want to accidentally introduce the toxins into some open orifices, because for those that read what happened to Nedry, I read the novel when I was about 10, so I remembered the details very well.
Sure it isn't decomposed plant matter or resin. That enclosure's humid, plenty of biological breakdown. Don't touch your face, whatever you do. Does it feel warm?
Wait a sec.
Biological breakdown. Don't touch your face, whatever you do. Does it feel warm? Any reaction on your skin?
Negative on the heat. It's cold, actually. But it's not sap. Sap doesn't coat like this. It's not like honey.
Dilophosaurus.
Also, that was a weird thing of the Velociraptor calls, because last I checked, they were some distance away from the Velociraptor pens. Meaning it was one of the wild raptors. Ooh boy. That's not good.
Aren't known to excrete anything like that. Are there injuries on the Dilos? Any signs of illness?
That's the troubling part. I checked them after we herded them into the holding pen. Clean, alert, no visible trauma, no lethargy. Yet this substance is on some of the railings atop the wall Manuel fell from. I can easily understand slipping on something like this.
You're implying some kind of defensive secretion, Muldoon.
I'm moving in deeper, Jerry. I'll sweep the perimeter first, then work inward. If there's more of that substance, it won't all be on bare rock.
Proceed slowly. Dense vegetation traps residue. Anything expelled with force will settle low once gravity takes over. Watch for patterns, not just accumulation. Smears and streaks, pooling at the base of stems. That's where behavior leaves its fingerprints.
Water's cloudy here. Silt and organic matter, but nothing stands out yet. No sheen on the surface, no discoloration. If this were waste runoff, I'd expect a gradient. There's nothing consistent.
That's why the lower vegetation matters, Robert. Fecal waste follows predictable patterns. It breaks down quickly in water, disperses evenly, clings loosely to plant matter. You'd see...
I don't think it is discretion. For those that don't know, discretion is a form of defensive pooping. It works, and it's gross. But do I think... If a human did that, then oh boy, that would be one hell of a power move and a one hell of a way to get arrested. Wait a sec. I'm pretty sure a Florida man did that. Wasn't me.
Use staining, microbial bloom, A smell, ammonia, sulfur compounds. It certainly wouldn't appear elevated unless carried by flood surge, and the jungle river hasn't flooded to that scale.
So if it's concentrated under the brush...
Then it suggests deposition, not runoff.
I'm checking the bases now. Nothing, just rot, mud, and insect life. Normal decay. If this substance was here recently, it's not widespread. Whatever happened, it happened in a narrow corridor.
That narrows the event window. It means the worker didn't stumble into a contaminated area by chance. He intersected it. And if there's no residue beneath the vegetation elsewhere, then this isn't a chronic biological byproduct. It's episodic.
I don't like episodic animals, Jerry. Especially ones we think we understand. I'm coming up empty so far. No pooled residue in the low spots. Either it was cleaned by the rain or it was never meant to linger.
Or it was precise. Used once.
Mark my words, Jerry. There's more to the Dilos than we know.
Agreed, because in both novel and film version, Henry somehow managed to mess up and Dilos were given venom. However, in the film version, they also were given like frills, which both the novel variant and the real animal obviously didn't have. But I'm glad that Aliota decided not to give the the movie Dilo its frills, because that is one thing I don't really like. What's going on here? I'm sorry, Hulu, but I'm not here for that ad.
I've reached drier ground now. No standing water. If that black substance was carried by runoff, it should thin out here.
We'd need to examine the cellular architecture under light microscopy. If it's fecal in origin, you'll see fragmented plant cells, microbial colonies. If it's secreted tissue, you'll find organized structures, glandular cells, protein matrices.
So you're looking...
I think it will be glandular than fecal. Yeah.
Intent again. Design versus waste.
Precisely. If it's a bodily secretion or there's an enzymatic agent involved, histology will show proteins, crystallized enzymes, or storage vesicles.
Let me run something by you, Jerry.
Sure.
Is it possible that this substance is a kind of venom?
Oh.
Picture it like this. That substance behaving like a hunting aid. If it can be expelled accurately, it explains the splatter height and why a man lost his footing so fast. A blinding or incapacitating agent meant to immobilize a prey item without a prolonged struggle.
Venom as a projectile?
Yes, spitting
Cobras, and actually I don't know what else that does spit venom. The only other stuff that I can think of that spits venom is the actual Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus.
style.
That would require specialized anatomy, not something that appears accidentally. Fossil records never suggested it.
Agreed. That is both in the novel and in the films. It is made explicitly clear if you do a lore dive into the film lore, but in the novel it's also made clear that they don't know how, but boom, somehow the Dilos got venom.
We'll admit our animals are already diverged from expectation.
Agreed, because as Robert said it best, these aren't natural. These are John and Henry's creations. Well, monsters was the word, but, I still see them as animals.
Date one and conduct exploratory surgery. Check the maxilla, the jawline, the neck. If there are glands, ducts, anything resembling a storage structure, people are getting hurt.
Nah, John will give you one hell of a field day for that.
Because we're assuming limits that may not exist.
Muldoon, John would kick up a stink about putting one under the knife for the sake of exploration.
True, but let's say...
I mean, yeah, that is true. This is novel Hammond we're talking about. He is a nightmare on his own. He's not that lovable, charmable, kind of, how would I say it, since Richard Attenborough did an amazing job playing him, like, I mean, he's goofy, but he's also a bit, I wouldn't say misguided, I would just say, I mean, he is misguided throughout some of his stuff, but he's got his heart in his right place. He's, not really cutting corners like Novel Hammond is, who we'll get to that once I get up to the current date of the series, if I actually continue, making some of these videos for y'all, because oh boy, I have some stuff to rant about Novel Hammond.
He's on board, and we confirm.
But I'll have that rant in the next video of the Muldoon logs, because I know for a fact this is actually because the next episode is where we hear Hammond speak to Robert. And oh boy, I'll let out all my complaints to him there.
Anything even close to the idea of these animals being venomous. Containment protocols must change immediately.
Agreed.
The cruise cannot stay as it is. Open boats filled with people. If these animals can project something outward, distance and shielding become mandatory.
You all right, Muldoon?
Yeah, Jerry. Compies.
The cleanup crew are there.
They're feeding on something, Jerry. Looks like
Wait.
hatchling bird.
Hold on a second. Let me take a look.
There.
They're feeding on something, Jerry.
Yeah, those are birds. So yeah, Muldoon gets proof of the venom. Knowing that they're going to be dealing with novel John, this issue is going to go unresolved.
Like hatchling birds. And Jerry, there's that same black substance.
Small prey wouldn't require physical restraint. This aligns far more with envenomation than with blunt force predation.
If the Dilophosaurs did this, they didn't need to chase or climb. They let this substance do
Yeah, no, those are birds.
work.
Venom used on prey implies a deliberate targeting behavior. Enough to kill birds, possibly enough to paralyze a man.
That means we're done pretending this is theoretical. Birds today, workers tomorrow, guests after that if we're careless. This confirms it for me. These animals are hunting, with more than teeth and claws, and the park is not designed for predators that hunt from a distance.
And watch yourself around the compies. Don't let them nip you.
Since, for those that don't know, the novel compies / pro confidences in the books, because in the books it's not confidant. Dang. At this point, I really wish I had the ability to edit, but since I don't, the compies in the book are not compies, but pro confidences, and the compies in the film are actually just confidences, but just given a different name, despite it just being compies versus the pro confidences in the book, but both are venomous, although the compies have more of like a, honestly, I would say have a more terrifying thing, because it's kind of like a morphine thing where you really stop caring about stuff in the world. You feel bliss while they're eating you alive. I mean, that's not a good fate, but oh yeah, that's right, sorry.
Lookout points along the length of the jungle river throughout the park. This one peers into the Dilophosaur enclosure specifically, but the others look out onto Sauropod Swamp to see the apatosaurs and hadrosaurs, etc., with the river eventually winding through the aviary. Still far from completion, but the general idea is guests can join the river cruise at any one of these 7 entry points, board a raft, and sail past several enclosures, to get that up-close and personal experience that Hammond wants for all his guests. There's still a boarding ramp and jetty and things to add here, with the date of completion being somewhere before the end of next year. Yet, regarding the Dilos specifically, Hammond definitely won't be thrilled about the idea of having large segments of this ride change so drastically.
I agree. He's not exactly. Alright, just testing. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. This is one of the few cases where you are going to see me actually do an edit, because I'm not sure what just happened, but my recording software bugged out on me and saved what I have, already recorded. So, but it kind of just bugged out, so I just gotta finish the rest of this and I'll edit this together.
He's always said that he doesn't want his guests.
But to sum it up, the difference between novel John and movie John Hammond, by the way, is that movie Hammond spared no expense, meaning like he actually used a lot more money. But actually, alright, I'll just say this. In the novel, Hammond was a cheapskate, greedy billionaire. Meanwhile, film Hammond was a bit more generous.
Feel like they are watching animals in a zoo. Getting them close to the animals is something he won't budge on. He always says everyone in the world has a right to enjoy these animals. Enjoy being the key word, not just view them, but enjoy them. But with safety in mind, either some sort of glass barricade needs to be erected alongside the electric fences to prevent the Dilophosaurs from shooting guests in the face with what is potentially venom. Or the rafts used on the Jungle River ride need to be enclosed. Both options call for divorcing the park visitor from the attraction. And if I know Hammond, which I do very well, he won't want to explore either option. I've got some movement in there. One of the Dilos might be taking a swim, which is rare. They can swim, but all the workers here have never spotted one actually crossing water. So this might be a first.
Wait. Trying my best to look through, guys.
No way.
What? That's not a raptor. Also, I will once again say, this was amazingly done by Aliwata. For those that want to continue seeing more by Aliwata, please go to his channel. Link is in the description to our original video and stuff. Watch his stuff, support him, join him, do whatever you want if you want to keep watching more of this. Anyways, I'll see y'all later, and yeah, I gotta do some editing now. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.